T, go!
I will resist!
I'll cut you wide open!
Did I mess up again?
Prepare yourself! The spirits demand your blood!
Little bruise.
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
Please do come in. You have been long awaited. Nothing at all. There will be no more games, trust me. And I definitely won't run. There is too much at stake. The path to your souls and the world womb's healing demands my death. The accursed threshold prison where everything began must be where everything comes to an end. So I invite you in once again. Cross this threshold. I'll be waiting for you in the heart of the fortress, in the place where the wound was opened.
Commander, you promised us victory when it seemed impossible, and you did not let us down. Doing the impossible is your specialty. You have led us here, to the very gates of the enemy's lair. Now we will end this century-long nightmare once and for all.
You're so good at toppling fortresses by now, you can almost keep time by it. The Grey Garrison, Dresden, and now Threshold. So are we coming up on noon or midnight on the commander clock? Doesn't matter. The bards can settle that one. It's the hour of your triumph. Of course. It was a long time ago now, but it's not the kind of thing you forget. I was almost buried alive. If it wasn't for you and Sela, my skull would be lying in some cave right now with only rats for company.
It was unforgettable. That attack on the Grey Garrison was the last desperate push. The last hope of holding the city when it seemed only a miracle could save us. We would have died there. But you and Anevia leapt out of the ground, and then miracles began to happen.
We have a chance. And that's a far sight better than how things stood not so long ago. Of course, it's too early to celebrate. We've still got a battle to fight, the likes of which we've never seen before. But I think you can pull it off.
With you leading us, those monsters should be worrying about their chances of escaping with their lives.
Personally, I'm going to be doing a big pile of nothing. For a month, or maybe 2. Irabeth too. Wheedling, blackmail, violence. I'll stop at nothing to drag her away on her first ever vacation.
Whatever you say, I can see surrender as my only option. We've waited so long for this. Onward to victory!
Lead on, Commander.
This endeavor rushes toward its conclusion. I wish to speak with you. To be honest, I almost stopped believing that I would live to see this moment. It has been at least 50 years since I stopped hoping and believing it could happen. And yet, here we are, at the entrance to Threshold. All thanks to you. The proximity of victory has made me think about something I have not even been able to imagine for the last 80 years or so. About what happens to me next. About my life after we triumph. Mendev expects me to remain on the throne, to help rebuild the country after the war. But I no longer wish to rule. I wish to share my life with the person who has made my heart flutter again after so many years. I love you, and I am sorry that I denied my feelings and unintentionally hurt you and me both. But now, on the eve of our victory, I ask you to let me stand beside you in this battle. Let me join you in Threshold and help you defeat the World Wound. And after that, let me remain beside you, wherever you are and wherever you go. I love you. I thought I was no longer capable of that feeling. Well, look at me now, standing and blushing before you like a slip of a girl. We have one last battle ahead of us, and then my duty will be done. I shall be free to be with you. be the problem. I love you. And after all the things I've said, I cannot just let you go into the final battle all alone. I care deeply about my country, but my time has passed. I am a symbol of war, not a symbol of peace. And I venture that I deserve to live the rest of my long, long life the way I want. If, of course, you want the same. And still, I cannot help but hope that it is not Dayren Arendé who becomes my successor. You are right. I shall fulfill your request, although it will be difficult. No one in Mendev knows the sacrifice that the creation of the Ward Stones demanded. The stones themselves are seen as a symbol of hope and safety. To destroy them would be akin to dismantling the fortress walls around Mendev's cities. It will provoke suspicion and panic, even if the demons are defeated by that time. But the angels have done their duty and should be freed. Therefore, should we win, I shall carry out your request, even if it means losing the people's trust. I love you.
It's been a long road from the River City to here, We walked and walked and walked along the road, and suddenly, there's no more road. Nobody is ready. It will be scary, very scary. In the last fortress, all the lies will end, and the truth will rise. It's scary, but it's good. Nobody knows what will happen next. People are afraid of the future, so that's why they make it up. They lie to themselves so it's not so scary. They convince themselves and others of the things they make up. But one day the future will come. The story ends, for better or worse. When everything's already happened, there's nothing to be afraid of anymore. And there's no reason to lie. The Redeemed Knights say they need me. I think they can manage fine without me, but maybe I really can help them somehow. I think we'll do a lot of good together. Hear that, Soot? It's time.
I am calculating the likelihood of your victory. Taking into consideration the fortifications of Threshold, the long period it has been under demon control, and Aurilu Vorlesh who is personally overseeing the defense, I would give the Crusaders a 30% chance of success at most. Of course, the presence of an illustrious scholar of Golarion in your ranks, meaning me, immediately increases your chances by 5%. Fear is an unproductive emotion that typically gets in the way of a good experiment. And I've never indicated that I do not support my loyal follower in his battle against the demons. I simply calculated your chances of success. If you win, I'll make sure to mention you in my encyclopedia. Aha! With that as an incentive, your chances have increased by 5%. Consider this my contribution to your victory.
So this is it then. The final push. The last battle where the great heroes will vanquish Aurilu Vorlesh and close the world wound, ridding Golarion of a deadly threat. That is how the Chronicles will tell it, I'm sure. You know very well, my friend, that this was never my war. I was merely following the person who offered me protection. I could not have cared less where you led me. And I still do not care about the cause for which we are fighting. I probably ought to have cast you off, rather than lay my head on the chopping block alongside yours. But I've grown attached to you now. I don't like the idea of you perishing in this place. That is why I shall help you win. Don't thank me. Not here, not now. I simply felt that I ought to tell you the truth. Nothing more. It seems I have grown overly sentimental after all our travels. Rush headlong into battle, come what may. I approve of this plan.
My last battle. We win or we die. Either way, I'll never pick up a weapon again. I'm going home. It's been so long. chance. I've thought a lot about this over the last few days. I don't want revenge anymore. I just want all this to be over. No, I can't rest yet. Celsia will be fighting. That means I will be too. To battle, for the last time.
There it is. The Citadel, the Demon Army. You know, I expected it to be formidable and fearsome. Something that would make me quake in terror. But now that I am standing at its gates, I'm surprised at how little fear I feel. Do not mistake this for bravado. Our enemies are dangerous, but no more than that. We have traveled to the heart of the Abyss, and back again. Now we are home, on our own territory. This time, let it be the invaders who quake in terror. When I set out for war, I imagined that I would find Trevor, and together we would fight the demons, shoulder to shoulder. Fate has a caustic sense of humor. My dream came true, but not at all as I imagined. The reality of war shattered many of my romantic notions. But that doesn't matter. What matters is that he is here with us. And today we will win, all of us together. I will go home to Andorran. I will lay down my weapon and never pick up another so long as I live. Save a knife for cutting grapevines. I will serve the goddess in our old temple. And when the peasant children come to pepper me with questions about the crusade, I will do my utmost to make sure that my stories give none the idea that there is anything beautiful or romantic about war. I had to. If I had a choice, I probably would have stayed the same naive little boy I was before the war. The boy who had never killed, who had never been to the Abyss, who had never buried those with whom he had sat around a campfire only the night before. Even so, when I set out to join this war, my head was full of so many romantic notions. More than usual for a naive little boy. But life found a way to shatter those most thoroughly. Ready. Let us drive the demons all the way back to the Abyss!
At last, this irksome crusade is drawing to a close. All right. It hasn't been that irksome. All in all, it was a fine adventure. And the company was more than adequate. The most important outcome of today, of course, will be that I shall be immortalized in works of art depicting the Fifth Crusade as the most attractive crusader. Perhaps I should reconsider. No. Others can be afraid. But I know who our leader is and what he is capable of. I have never seen you fail to rise to a challenge, no matter how impossible. So leave me and my optimism be. We will win. If anyone should be afraid, it is the wretches inside Threshold. And to the victory feast, I trust?
Greetings. Allow me to congratulate you on leading the armies of the Fifth Crusade to its decisive confrontation. Excellent. At last, a real achievement and a genuine chance of victory. I suppose I am. Being happy is not in my nature, but for the first time in years, I feel something akin to that emotion. It would be interesting to analyze what I experience when I see the criminal Auril Vorlesh defeated, the demons ousted, and the world wound closed at last. It promises to be an exceptional moment. And for me as well, Commander. For me as well. I am always ready.
You know what's crazy? I never thought this moment would come so soon. It feels like only yesterday we were trying to bring a blazing Canabras under control, and now we're standing on the cusp of our last battle. Threshold. This isn't how I imagined it. I thought I'd be running happily toward death and trying to do something particularly heroic so I could go out in style. But now, I'm thinking about how we have to win and go back to Dresden because there's so much work still to do there. Me too. You've got a whole army behind you, and we're all ready to win. If we fail now, when we've got this far, then that means the Crusades were always doomed to fail. We've been going easy on these demons for too long, don't you think? It's time to show them one last time what Galarians are capable of.
There it is. The heart of the wound. The source of all the evil that has been wrought here over the last 100 years. It all began here. And we will end it here. If Aurilu Voralesh had never opened the world wound, I would never have ended up on Galarian. I would never have met Desna. Or you. I would never have embarked on the path of good. This invasion has killed so many innocent people, but it has also led to my redemption. It means my freedom has been bought with thousands of innocent lives. But I will do everything in my power to help you close this abomination, so that no one else has to die. I did not do it alone. You have led your army to victory, and me to my dream. It's not about guilt. It's just that I am ashamed to take any joy in my freedom, knowing that this terrible war was the cause of it. Everyone would have been better off if the world wound had never been opened. But then I would have remained a monster. Perhaps one day I will atone for all the evil I did. But it took a far greater evil to make my redemption even possible. I now have a dream of my own. I will pursue it. I am ready. Let the abyss tremble in fear.
So this is it then? Threshold. Grubby little spot, isn't it? Looking around, I'm thinking to myself, maybe if we'd built it somewhere else, not in this god's forsaken hole, somewhere nicer, maybe then Aurilu, curse her name, wouldn't have revolted. Maybe there would have been no invasion. But anyway, what's the use in wondering? Well, War Chief, are you ready? Ready to thrash all these Fae and Oglins and other Puxies? Ready to boot that king of the grasshoppers back to his magical beetle land? But then, what would we have done with all the witches and mages? Maybe you're right. If we didn't bother them, they wouldn't bother us. Folk live like that in other countries with no problems at all. They don't have world wounds opening up on them. And then, if you think about it, mages aren't the problem. The problem's them Oglins and Fae that were chomping at the bit to get into our world. Without Aurilu, Daskari, that dirty bug, would have just found other allies. Like my worthless brother. Still not long enough for me to know the difference between all the kinds of foul creatures. Remembering their names isn't my job. My job's beating them so hard they don't remember their own. What am I not going to do? That's the easier question. In war, there's only two things you can do. Kill and die. In times of peace, there's no end to the things a man can do. I think I'll head to Gundren. After all their hardships, they could do with my help. Fight! For Sarkoris! For the Oles clan! For the War Chief!
Hey! Well, are we gonna stick it to the demons one last time? I don't know yet. I'll probably go back to being a knight errant, going wherever the road takes me, helping folk where I can. But let's win first, and we can talk about that later. Back at you, friend.
So, are we going to crush some demons? It's time to show them the door once and for all!
I know the way.
Let's prove their logic is lacking.
I will resist!
The moment is ours!
No glory without risk!
Prepare yourself!
I'll send you back to the abyss.
Into the fray!
Let's try this way.
Desna, guide my hand! Disappear.
Death to invaders!
The light! Take you!
Follow my...
We will win this war.